Hi, I'm Eric,
And I'm Heather.
and we're pre-engaged.
Welcome to another pre-engaged mailbag video.
Dan from Lynchburg, Virginia sent us this question. When conflict arises with me and my significant other, it tends to get toxic and out of hand very quickly. I know conflict is a part of every relationship, but what steps do you recommend taking to prevent conflict from spiraling out of control?
Well, you're right. Conflict is definitely a part of all relationships. Sometimes it may not seem like a couple has conflict because they handle it so calmly, or they handle it by themselves where no one can see it. But any relationship is going to deal with conflict, whether it's calmly or throwing things and screaming. There will be conflict in our relationships.
That's very true. And conflict is necessary at some level. If there isn't any conflict, there is a lack of communication because nobody's going to agree implicitly with the opposite sex all the time, at every juncture. So conflict is necessary in a relationship. It's just a matter of how you work through it, and that's what we're discussing today.
Definitely. I'd say the first thing to do is start to notice the signs that you feel or that you see in your significant other when you're about to explode. So, there's that part in the conflict where things start to get a little bit heated, but then there's that point right before it goes from calm to explosive. Notice, are you flushed? Is he or she, are they flushed? Are they turning red? Or is there a certain facial expression they have? What signs do you have to know that it's about to get ugly? And train yourself at that moment to always respond calmly. When you are tempted to explode, that is the moment you need to take steps to practice to become very calm and respond calmly.
Yeah. One thing that can help you with that is having a buzzword.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say something like, crazy cycle or, air hose or even peanut butter, something that you two can agree on that says, I'm getting heated. I need about, 5, 10 minutes, just to cool down, and then we can come back together and talk about it. It's important to have that, so that you're not constantly tense and fighting with each other. So it's important to have that release valve. That's a good phrase for it. So have develop a buzzword for that. If you start overusing the buzzword to the point to where you're avoiding conflict, then that's a separate issue. So don't do that either. But a buzzword can be very helpful and healthy.
And practice responding, like I said, calmly. And when you're the most tempted to scream, that's when you need to be calm the most. That's when you could do the most damage. You can irrationally say something that you don't really mean that could take someone years to get over if they ever do. And it might feel good for a minute, but it's just not worth it. It's not worth the aftermath because in 30 minutes to an hour, or sometimes depending on the conflict, 3 days later, you're going to be in love again. You're going to, it's going to be past, but that word or that harsh thing that you said or did will stick in their minds.
That's true. And doing so, responding calm, requires humility. It is easier to be angry than to redirect the conflict to somewhere else, to something else. And so, God calls us to be humble people, and just accept that humility in your life. Try to be the the bigger person, the one who will um, lay down, his or her rights in order to, stake your flag on that mountain, and I'm right, and blah blah blah. But just accept the humility. Not that you have to, lie down and be a doormat, but just accept humility in the fact that there's always two sides to a story, and often they're just trying to seek to be understood, not necessarily to be right all the time.
Right. Author of Love and Respect, Emerson Eggerichs, talks about a love or a crazy cycle, and this conflict, this toxic conflict, sounds like the crazy cycle, which basically means that when a woman feels unloved, she reacts to her husband, her boyfriend, with disrespect because she's feeling unloved and attacked. Well, when he feels that disrespect, his natural response is to respond without loving her, and then she feels unloved, and then she's more disrespectful, and that can happen in about 5 seconds. That entire explosion can take place in that short amount of time. So when you know that that's about to happen, the most unnatural thing for you to do is to respond with love or with respect. It is completely unnatural, but it definitely takes that craziness and like to a screeching halt, completely stops it in its tracks.
Yeah. And love and respect is a choice,
Mm-hmm.
even during that heated conversation. And so knowing that, deep in your depths, knowing that she needs love, or knowing that he needs respect, it's that choice that you say, you know what, Love is a verb, and yes, there is an emotional component to it as well, but love is a verb. Love is something that you do and you act out. I'm going to do what's in that person's best interest, even though I'm not very happy with them right now, and I'm going to respect him. I'm going to love her in order to, give them what they need, and not just in order to stop the crazy cycle, but to give them what they need, and ultimately to glorify God through it.
And when you get in the habit of approaching conflicts like this, you'll find that the small conflicts don't turn into wars. And when both people are getting their needs met for love and respect, they can work through just about anything. They might need a little time to kind of process things in their mind, but as long as kindness and humility and love and respect are being observed, couples can work through just about anything.
Yep, it's true. Well, if you'd like to see another pre-engaged mailbag video, please click on our contact form and send us a question, and we'd love to hear from you and help you too. Great to be with you.